really any business, you have to promote yourself. You have to have, in 2024, social media presence. You have to be able to communicate. And so I use different AI programs, mainly ChatGPT, but I use those, I use that a lot to get ideas.
You're listening to the Streamline Success Show. I'm your host, Dagmar Schuld. In this podcast, we talk about how AI and automation can help busy coaches like you simplify their online businesses. We share practical advice that you can start using immediately. Welcome to the show, everyone. Today, I really have the honor to introduce Sam Morrison Wilson to you. I really admire Sam. Sam is the inspiring founder of Safe Heart Connection, which is a community where she helps women to go to self-love, back to self-love again. Sam also has a really successful agency where she empowers entrepreneurs and helps them with taking over administrative tasks so that they can focus on what they really want to do, which is their business. Sam, it's an honor to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be with you.
Thanks you. So first, let me know, Sam, how did you come to the journey that you're on? So helping women in your community. It's really impressive what you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's a very long story, so I won't go into all the details, but what I will say is that my life had taken a lot of turns and twists and a lot of poor choices made on my behalf, and some things that just happened as a natural course of life. And after getting out of an abusive marriage, I'd been married and divorced multiple times. In 2015, I got out of an abusive marriage, and that's when my healing journey began. I didn't know what it looked like, but what I did know was that what was happening in that moment was not okay. And so I was on a mission to learn how I could create a different life and help other. And then as soon as I learned how to do that, I recognized that I couldn't keep this silent. I had to share with other women. I actually started Safe Heart Connections really seeing how the growth of my community has changed over the years has really been amazing to me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've watched it from the beginning, so I can tell it's really great work that you do there. I love that.
Thank you.
So, how does AI come into play with that? Because that doesn't sound something like which could be benefited by AI when you heard
Oh
first
yeah.
everything.
Yeah. So, well, you have to, for any business, whether it's an organization like mine that's serving and helping in the way that I do, or it's really any business, you have to promote yourself. You have to have, in 2024, social media presence. You have to be able to communicate. And so I use different AI programs, mainly ChatGPT, but I use that a lot to get ideas and to say, I work with a group of women that deal with this, this, and this, and I want to talk to them about this. Can you give me 20 ideas for social media? And so it does. And then I take the ones I like, get rid of the ones I don't like, and then I tweak them. Very rarely do I use it exactly as it was said, but I do use it for ideas. And then I actually created a book using AI, and I did it. I was telling you, what happened was I knew that I wanted to create a journal for the women in my program to have access to create a life of self-love. And I wanted them to have an affirmation. I wanted them to have an affirmation, a self-love task, and a self-love journal prompt. So I asked ChatGPT, what are some of the best affirmations for self-love? And I went through and I picked some, I tweaked them a little, and then the tasks, and then the journal prompt would typically tie to that task. And so it has all of them in there. There's space in here for them to write in. And I was able to use ChatGPT to help me create that process and then turn it into something functional for my women to use, and they love it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that sounds really great. So did you self-publish that or how did you
Yes,
do that?
I've published, yeah, I use KDP on Amazon,
Mhm.
and I've been publishing journals since before it was cool. I love the idea of creating space for people to write. I believe that writing is healing and that
Yeah.
when you do, my mom has said the quote for years of write it down and make it real. And so
Yes.
writing is powerful. There's something that happens when you use your writing, and typing is okay, but it's not the same as writing. And so all of the books I've created, whether they're a workbook or more of a regular book, there's still space to journal and write because I believe in the power of writing. So all my books will have space to write in.
Yes, I totally get that. So the same for me. So I'm a computer scientist and I work with AI, but I do my notes with handwriting. That is the process how I think. I can remember things better when I write them down. And when I process something, I go through that and put it down and work with that. For some reason, it does work better when you write it than when you type it on a computer. It's so right.
There's something that happens in your brain that switches, and I haven't done the research to know what it's called, but I know that there's plenty of documentation that says when you write something down, then
It's yeah,
the
it's a
function of writing
hand-brain
does,
connection.
yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
it does something. And
Yeah.
so I'm a big believer in whatever that something is.
Yeah, right. So how actually did you do that? Did you start with this project to write this journal?
Yeah. So I knew that the goal was going to be to turn it into a journal. But I am a really big fan of repurposing content. I don't like to create something just one time. I'm a big fan of repurposing. And so basically I created the, the 30 days and used it on social media with the affirmation, with the task and with the prompt, and also used it in my community. And so I started asking ChatGPT questions, and I find that the better the question you ask, better answer you're going to get.
Yeah.
And then also, I use some things that I've created myself that are in my voice. And I'll say, this is how I would have said that. Can you create more that sound like me? It's really cool when you can have it trained to sound more like you so that when women read my emails, because I use automation, ChatGPT to create, you get a Friday email from me, Dagmar, didn't write it. I mean,
Right.
I wrote it, right? And I tweaked it, and it sounds like something I would say, but I had the whole year is done and scheduled. I'm not doing that every week. It's already done
That's cool.
because
Yeah.
I have really found that for me, I went through a training program in 2019 that helped me understand who I was and helped me know my strengths and stuff. And discipline and consistency are like at the bottom. Um,
Mhm.
And so I have to find ways because it's important to me and responsibility is really high. Connections is really high. So I have to find a way to make that work. So I like to create in bulk, get it scheduled with just a due date to know that, 11
Mhm.
months from now, I need to do it again and get a whole nother year's done so I did 52 weeks and, it probably took me 3 or 4 weeks to get it done, but they're done for the whole year.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's something that is missing in my business right now. So I need to work on that. And I wanted to put out a newsletter too. So something, yeah, we'll see how how it
Yeah.
works out. But that's the next project. Can you give us an example of what's in your gratitude journal?
Well, yeah. So basically,
Oh yeah,
are we video or only sound on here?
a video.
Video?
Yeah, mhm.
Okay, yeah. So
I
I'll
do
just
both.
show you.
Yeah. Mm.
So this is lesson 25 and the
Mhm.
affirmation, the task, and the journal prompt. And then I have a little quote at the bottom. So this self-love affirmation, I just randomly turned to this page, is I am grateful for the abundance of love and blessings in my life. And so that would be the lesson that they did that day. And then the task would be explore your creative side by engaging in art, writing, music, or another form of self expression. And then the journal prompt, and there's 3 pages for them to write on it here. It says, describe your creative process and the emotions it evoked. How does self expression contribute to your sense of authenticity and self discovery? And so it's a weekly lesson. And so basically they have this to ponder on for the whole week. And then next week, after they go to the next one, on the magnet for love, joy, and positive energy. Right. And so it just continues on where there's a different one every week for them.
Mm-hmm. And originally you made this post every day.
I did.
Mm-hmm. That's a
Yeah.
great
So I
idea.
created a social media post, and then I also put it in my community for the women to have access to if they're not following me on social media. So I used it there. I used it in written form. I actually created a video of me talking about it for YouTube. And so I used that content a lot,
Yeah,
and it was really
that's a great idea.
well received.
Yeah. Repurposing is great. I do this right now with the interviews that I do. I create shorts and reels from it and put them out on my social media. But I just talked to some other ladies today and they said, oh, you have the transcript. Don't you want to have written posts too? And I said, I didn't even thought about that. Yeah, no, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Facebook, I don't like reels on Facebook. I love written posts and images posts. They're more, I don't know.
Or
Yeah.
Facebook. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, maybe I use it there. So nice. And in your agency, you do some automation there too. Let's talk about that because that could be interesting
Yeah.
for other people too.
Yeah. So my agency is called Your Admin Ninja, and we work with small business owners, entrepreneurs, a lot of coaches
Mm-hmm.
where we help them. I like to say we take their time back one task at a time
Nice.
because they're really good at what they do, but the behind the scenes stuff, they're not so good at. And I think one of the reasons Safeheart Connections has been as successful as it is because I knew how to set things up because I have this administrative mind of seeing all the
Yeah.
things. And so
Yeah.
with school, when somebody joins the community, and then we can ask 3 questions. And so I use automation to pull that into my CRM and start an automated workflow for them to get on board to your email series. And so we do that for our clients as well. It's not just for Safeheart Connections, right? We've got probably 25, 30 clients across the country and help them with all their administrative back-end stuff. We do some social media, the same type of process that I use to create my stuff. We used to create theirs and it works. So
Yeah.
the automation makes things better, but it still takes a human touch to create it, to make sure it's right. And I think people are concerned that AI is going to take away all the jobs. And I just don't see that happening. I believe that there's always going to be a human element and we're going to have to learn how to manage AI in a way that helps our business and our life. And I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Because the more, with having so many things happening, the more that we can manage effectively, but still provide a human touch, I think that's where the magic will be.
Yes, right. And somebody said to me, I don't know who that was, I forgot, but they said, AI is not killing your jobs. Something like AI is not taking over. It only takes over the people that are not willing to learn about AI because you still have to manage AI and people that learn that they will win and the others will be removed from their job. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely made things better for me. And when it really started, when people started talking about ChatGPT a couple of years ago, I showed my dad, and he's in his 70s, and he was so excited. He's like, I stayed up till midnight asking all these questions. And then he messaged me the next day and he's like, do you think that this is going to take your job, like your admin company? People aren't going to need you. I'm like, that's not how that works.
No.
I'm absolutely not afraid of that. There's so much stuff that we can do to help small business owners, and implementing AI effectively will help all of us be better.
Yes, for sure. And the world is just changing and it does it all the time. So back in the days when the first cars got on the street and the horse carriages were not needed anymore. So the people that first had a horse carriage and then learned how to drive a car, they still had a job. And even more because the cars took over and everybody has a car now and except
Yeah.
me. I don't have one.
Yeah.
I'm in a location where I definitely don't need a car. It's just a cost.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah, well, I'm so excited to see what you're doing and seeing how I've listened to some of the other shows, and I'm cheering you on because I love what you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah. And as I said, I'm really excited about it. And that changed everything for me in my business too. So yeah, I am now on my path. I think that's my journey.
Good.
Okay. So just tell my audience how they can reach out to you and maybe how they get the gratitude journal.
Oh, yeah. So not this one, the one I was showing you for the members of my community, but you can, if you, when a woman joins Safe Heart Connections and you get in the community, one of the things you'll do is go through a Start Here module. You'll get a self-love assessment right away. And then once you've participated in the community a little bit, you get this free downloadable gratitude journal, which everyone really seems to love. So you can go to school.com/SafeHeartConnections, or if you don't remember that, safeheartconnections.com will take you there. And when you click, it'll take you straight to school.
I will put that information into the show notes too, so that people know.
And if here's the thing about my admin company is 100% of our businesses come from referrals. So I don't usually do marketing for that. But if somebody was listening and they're like, I need somebody to help with that, the company name is Your Admin Ninja and the website is youradminninja.com. So I'd be glad to chat with anybody.
Well, thank you, Sam. So that was really cool. I love what you do. You know that. And I love
Thank you.
talking to you all the time I meet you. So thanks a lot for being on the show.
I'm glad I could be. Thank you.
Thank you and bye. Thank you for tuning in to the Streamline Success Show. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, and to get access to today's show notes, head over to community.marketingunraveled.com. See you on the next episode.